That chicken sandwich you love? It might be the worst decision on the menu. The bite you trust most? It may be cheating you. Every time you pick between Popeyes and KFC, you're rolling the dice. The wrong choice leaves you bloated, disappointed, and angry you wasted your money. I know, because I tested them side by side. I ate Popeyes. I ate KFC. I timed the weights. I counted the calories. I even reheated leftovers just to see which one survived the night. And here's the truth. One of these sandwiches is a game changer. The other is a scam wrapped in a bun. The Popeyes Chicken Sandwich. The KFC Chicken Sandwich. Two titans, two cult followings, but only one deserves your money. I'm going to break it down piece by piece. Taste, price, size, bun build, nutrition, service, freshness. And at the end, I'll tell you which one to avoid. Permanently. Because trust me, once you know what I found out, you'll never look at your favorite sandwich the same way again. So let's start where it matters most. The bite that decides everything. Taste. The truth hits on the very first bite. I grabbed the Popeye sandwich first. Brioche bun. Crispy golden filet pushing out of the edges. Spicy mayo sliding off the sides. One bite. Crunch. Not just crunch, an explosion. The chicken breast is thick, juicy. The seasoning punches with black pepper, garlic, cayenne, and the heat lingers. That's Popeyes. Now, KFC. I expected competition. I wanted KFC to fight back. First bite, the bun was soft, too soft. It collapsed before the chicken even hit my teeth. Then the filet, less crunch, more chew. The flavor leaned into salty but lacked that same pepper kick. KFC's Colonel sauce gave me a tangy sweetness, but it didn't cling to the chicken. It sat on the bun instead. Flavor? Popeyes feels bold. KFC feels cautious. Texture? Popeyes makes your teeth work in a good way. KFC slides down, but without that fireworks crunch. And aftertaste? With Popeyes, I could still taste the spice minutes later. With KFC, I just tasted bread. Now, maybe you like subtle. Maybe you don't want that Louisiana punch. But if you're after flavor, after something that makes you feel you got your money's worth, KFC doesn't deliver, Popeyes does. Taste is king. But you're not just buying flavor, you're also buying cost. And that's where things get even closer. Money matters. So let's compare the bills. At Popeyes, the classic or spicy chicken sandwich sits at $4.49 to $4.99 depending on the city. At KFC, the chicken sandwich hovers at $4.79 to $5.29. Right away, KFC usually a few cents more. Not much? Sure. But over weeks of lunches, it adds up. Now combos. Popeyes offers their sandwich with fries and a drink for about $8.69. KFC's combo runs around $8.99 to $9.49. Again, close. But Popeyes edges cheaper. Here's the real question though, portion size for price. Because if one sandwich fills you up better, that's value. Popeyes filet is massive. Thick, juicy breast meat that stretches past the bun. I could barely finish mine. KFC's filet? Thinner. Doesn't stick out of the bun. Easier to finish, but easier to forget. So the price is nearly the same. But the food per dollar ratio leans toward Popeyes. And here's my personal test. I bought both at the same time. I ate Popeyes for lunch. I saved KFC for dinner. And when I bit into KFC, I felt like I was eating a snack, not a meal. If you want maximum bite for buck, Popeyes wins. But price and value aren't just about portion. They're also about how full you feel after. And that brings me to the next part. Bigger isn't always better. But in fast food, size decides satisfaction. Popeyes has the advantage right away. Their chicken filet is a beast. Thick breast meat, hand-battered crunch. The bun is big enough to cover it, but the chicken still sticks out. It looks premium. KFC, their filet is thinner, not paper thin. But compared to Popeyes, it looks like a downgrade. It fits neatly inside the bun. No overhang. It feels smaller even before the first bite. Now here's the real test. Satiety. After Popeyes, I was stuffed. I didn't even crave fries. I didn't reach for dessert. It held me down for 3 hours without a single snack. After KFC, I was satisfied at first, but 30 minutes later, I wanted more. I craved fries. I even considered ordering nuggets. That's the difference. One sandwich replaces a meal. The other feels like part of a meal. And when you're paying the same money, satiety matters. Now, I know some of you don't want to feel stuffed. You want something lighter. If that's you, maybe KFC feels better. But most of us, we want the sandwich to be the meal. And only Popeyes delivered that for me. Still, size and satiety mean nothing if the sandwich can't hold itself together. And that's the next test. Sandwiches live or die by the bun. Popeyes uses a toasted brioche bun. It's slightly sweet. It's sturdy. It holds grease without collapsing. I bit through it and it stayed strong until the last chew. KFC also uses a brioche bun, but softer. Too soft. It folded under pressure. By the halfway mark, it was soggy. My fingers were coated in sauce. The sandwich started slipping apart. This matters more than you think. Because if the bun collapses, every bite becomes a chore. You're fighting the sandwich instead of enjoying it. With Popeyes, the bun complemented the chicken. It framed it. It delivered the crunch without getting in the way. With KFC, the bun became the problem. Now let's talk toppings. Popeyes keeps it simple. Pickles, mayo, or spicy mayo. KFC adds their Colonel's sauce, tangy, sweet, mayo, mustard mix. On paper, it sounds exciting. In reality, it slides all over the bun. It doesn't bind to the chicken. It makes a mess. So in terms of structure, Popeyes is stronger. KFC feels flimsy. And structure isn't just convenience. It's how the sandwich feels in your hands and how it feels in your body afterward. Which brings us to nutrition. Here's the scary part. The numbers. Popeyes Classic Chicken Sandwich, 690 calories, 42 grams fat, 14 grams saturated fat, 1,443 milligrams sodium, 28 grams protein. KFC Chicken Sandwich, 650 calories, 35 grams fat, 11 grams saturated fat, 1,350 milligrams sodium, 34 grams protein. So let's translate that. Popeyes is heavier, more calories, more fat, more sodium. KFC is slightly lighter, fewer calories, less fat, but still high in sodium. Now here's how it felt. After Popeyes, I felt the salt hit me hard. The richness sat in my stomach for hours. It was filling, but also heavy. That's the food coma effect. After KFC, the hit was gentler. Still salty, yes, but the oil didn't linger as much. I felt ready to move after 30 minutes. So here's the trade-off. Popeyes feeds you bigger, but makes you feel guilty afterward. KFC spares you some calories, but leaves you less full. Which one's worse? Depends on your goal. If you want flavor and fullness, Popeyes wins. If you want lighter guilt, KFC slides by. But nutrition numbers are meaningless if the service ruins the experience. So let's talk wait times. I tested both on different days, and here's what happened. At Popeyes, I ordered at lunch rush. It took 7 minutes to get my sandwich. Not bad, and it came out steaming hot. The wait felt worth it. At KFC, I ordered during dinner rush. It took 3 minutes. Fast. But when I bit in, the sandwich was lukewarm. The filet had been sitting. It felt prepped ahead, not fresh. That's the risk. Speed doesn't equal quality. Now, consistency. Popeyes has a history. Remember the 2019 craze? Lines around the block? Fights in drive-thrus? They were overwhelmed. Today, they're better, but still slower than KFC. KFC, in contrast, prides itself on speed, but it sacrifices freshness when they prep too far ahead. So ask yourself, do you want fast and lukewarm, or slower and fresh? I'll take the wait. But what happens when the sandwich cools off? That's the real test. Not everyone eats the sandwich in one sitting, so I saved half of each. Hours later, I reheated both. And the results shocked me. Popeyes, air fryer for 5 minutes. It came back crispy, the bun held. The chicken tasted nearly as fresh as before. KFC, same reheat test. The bun turned limp. The chicken went soggy. The sauce melted into the bread. It was worse than before. This matters, because fast food isn't always eaten instantly. Sometimes you grab it, drive that, then eat. Sometimes you save half for later. Popeyes survives that test. KFC doesn't. And it's not just reheating. It's how the sandwich handles cooling naturally. After 20 minutes, Popeyes still had crunch. KFC turned soft. So freshness, reheat, long-haul eating, Popeyes dominates. Now after all these battles, taste, price, satiety, bun, nutrition, speed, freshness, it's time. The final verdict. Here's the truth. I've eaten them both. I've tested them back to back. And only one deserves your trust. Winner, Popeyes Chicken Sandwich. Why? Because it wins where it counts. Flavor, crunch, size, satiety, build, freshness, reheat. It's the sandwich that feels like a full meal. It's the sandwich that makes you feel you got your money's worth. Loser, KFC Chicken Sandwich. Too soft bun, weaker crunch, thinner filet, lukewarm if rushed, soggy when reheated. It doesn't stand up to Popeyes. Here's my warning. If you want real value, stick with Popeyes. If you don't want to feel cheated, avoid KFC's version. I know this sparks debate, because some of you swear by KFC, some of you hate Popeyes, and maybe your local KFC makes a better sandwich. But based on taste, numbers, and experience, Popeyes is the winner. So what's your pick? Drop it below. Tell me which side you're on, Popeyes or KFC, and don't forget to subscribe.